Hello and welcome to Coffee with Carey. As you may know, I am a dating coach, but also a matchmaker. And I wanted to remind you that all the dates I've been setting up for years have been blind dates as a matchmaker. These dates are people who I get to see, but whom never get to see each other. I don't share pictures, I share a brief description. If anybody knows anything about thousands of people going on blind dates, guess who it would be? And I wanted to make sure that you're one of the people who know. Like all dates, all previous tips in like 400 or so episodes applies, but a few more. That's what we're talking about today. If that's at all interesting or intriguing, stick around because blind dating, blind dates, that's what's on the agenda. Number one, with a blind date, we must talk about managing expectations because while we always should, it's much more important in a blind date. Not knowing what this person looks like, lots of people have a tendency to picture something. They allow some type of a vision to pop into their head. And if it's George Clooney, Bradley Cooper, Timothy Chalamet, if it's anything like that you're picturing on the other side of wherever you're going to meet this person, where is that going to lead you? To disappointment. And what you don't want to have as you meet someone for the very first time on a blind date is to have a look of disappointment on your face. So you want to have a neutral look on your face, which is why you also want to have a neutral picture of this person in your head. Honestly, thinking about it, I might suggest if I were going on a blind date that I try to picture somebody that I don't find particularly attractive because they may look like that or I may be pleasantly surprised. But that's psychology in your own head. If that appeals to you, give it a try, but keeping things neutral and just trying not to at all picture what this person looks like. Even if you've spoken on the phone and have a voice to attach to this person, that guides you even more into picturing somebody. For me, I do think that everyone I speak to on the phone and I hear their voice, I think they're amazing looking in person. Every customer service at ComEd and Comcast and my gas company, I imagine to be drop dead gorgeous, male or female. So I for sure have to maintain a neutrality on blind dates, I would imagine. And if that would be you as well and you don't want to be disappointed, give that a try. Oh, and also I should mention that the flip side to that could happen also. So you should really pay attention to whether or not you have a good poker face and use it in that situation. Being disappointed if you had a picture in your head that this person was going to look like Scarlett Johansson and she looks like a mere mortal, you don't want to see her and go, oh. And vice versa, if you're pleasantly surprised, you don't want to go, whoa. So more neutrality, I guess, is what I'm recommending here. Number two, I think we could agree that presentation matters on all dates, but I would say that on a blind date, it might matter just a wee bit more because of those expectations perhaps and extra nerves meeting somebody that you have no clue. I always tell clients to make sure that you are excited for the date, not nervous for the date. Use that extra energy to think of it as excitement rather than something negative. So they're typically looking forward to it. And to go along with that positivity, I think being dressed in a way that feels really great to you, really like you've done the best job you can to present as your true, authentic self and have taken it up a notch to let this person know that you're putting in some effort on their behalf as well because you respect their time and you just want to make sure that you look nice for meeting them as you would for meeting your family or whoever else you would like to make a pleasant impression on. Obviously, I'm not saying to dress inappropriately for whatever you're doing. I'm saying whatever you are doing, dress appropriately, but kick it up a notch. Wear something you love that you don't have to think about, that won't be distracting you so that you can focus more so on being your best self as a dater and on getting to know this person who's new to you, who's in front of you. Number three, I think there's enough going on with not knowing where you're going is an extra burden. So my suggestion is at least Google where you're going to see what the outside looks like, or check out the website if it's a place as opposed to somewhere outdoors that you're meeting. Even if it's somewhere outdoors and there's a location, check out where those two intersections or look at the directions to get there ahead of time. Being a little bit more comfortable with the surroundings for a lot of people makes a big difference in their comfort level. I once had a client in Seattle and he made it a point to always do a dry run of the places I was sending him. He would make sure he knew where he was going to park and he knew how to get into the place. He knew where he wanted to sit in this particular place that was a great vantage point for people watching and quiet conversation. In fact, one of the places I sent him, he loved it so much, like his third date, that the next 8 dates he had, he made me send him back to the same place. It was easy to drive to, easy to park at. He liked the people who worked there. They had an interesting cocktail and appetizer menu, and he became a regular there once a month when I would send him on a date. So my suggestion is to make sure there's no additional stress about the place where you're going, how you're going to get there, find it, and that you can be comfortable in these surroundings. Number 4, if it's a blind date, they probably don't know a ton about you. They didn't read a profile. They haven't talked to you on the phone or video chatted with you or didn't have a brief conversation with you elsewhere when you first met at the Target or farmer's market or outdoor festival in your neighborhood. So I think there needs to be a little bit more on the initial sharing of who you are. Always recommend making a game of it, gamifying that get to know you. We don't want to do an interview, interrogation, but we want to get some brief basics at the beginning to know who this person is. So make sure you say, hey, since we are on a blind date, this is awkward enough. Do you want to just play a game to get things going? I can guess some things about you. You can let me know if I'm right or wrong, or we could do some questions that I brought with me because, of course, you have my list of 33 questions for a first date, great questions for a first date on your phone or written down in your pocket, in your purse, and use some tools like that to kind of break the ice and get to know this person, get it up to speed, at least to where you would have been had it not been a blind date, quickly in the first half of this get to know you get together. Number 5, I would say don't jump to conclusions with this type of a date, not on who this person is or what one rogue sentence that you may have misunderstood means deep down, who they are based on one thing they said. That's where follow-up questions really come into play. If something they said struck you as maybe being a red flag or a deal breaker, rephrase and ask another deep question about what the conversation or the topic was to get some clarity. Just giving somebody a little extra grace because you really don't know them at all, not even a little bit. So going that extra step to figure out who they are without having expectations, as we said, or jumping to conclusions will take you a little further in blind dating. I think it just really requires a little more patience in thinking you know who this person is. Number 6, I want to head back to expectations, not about what they're going to look like or how they're going to be, but where is this going to go? Not having expectations based on a really positive first impression or a negative one, but really being in the moment and allowing this to unfold in a regular, natural manner without you thinking in the back of your head, this is it, this is my person. They're so cute, so much better than what I expected. And I said so many great things that I really like about them already. And then you stop listening to everything they say for the second half of the date. Don't do that. Instead, no expectations. Be really, really open to wanting to, be curious is what I think I'm saying. Be curious to know more about this person. Ask those great questions, share some great stories and see if they reciprocate. See if you feel really comfortable in each other's presence and then leave wanting to know more. Tempering expectations will take you really far in a blind dating situation. Number 7, speaking of not knowing who or what this person's going to be, get as much information as you can from whoever is doing the setting up. With my own clients, matchmaking clients, I always share what the person does for work, some of the things they're looking for in a partner. Definitely, they know they're looking for the same type of relationship as one another, but I'll share how many kids they have, if any. I'll share on occasion what they do for work, but I feel like sometimes that gives people a vision in their head of who this person is. We have certain stereotypes we put with certain careers, and I don't like to do that. But I'll say this person is this tall, they have this color hair, really pretty eyes, or she's got a beautiful smile, she's super stylish, or he's a real gentleman. So asking this person who has set you up a few questions to get a little bit of information will help you from making or blowing this up into either something you need to be nervous about or guessing in all kinds of wrong directions. Just ask. Number 8, while you are, of course, staying positive on this date, as you do on all dates, remember to stay very positive about the person who introduced you, who set you up, your matchmaker, friend, or relative, or coworker. Because don't forget, you have somebody in common. And trust me, it will get back to the other person what you said about them to this blind date. If it didn't go well, they're going to tell on you. And if not, sometimes things just come out anyway. So remember to be your very positive, kind self when talking about all other people to this person that doesn't know you well. And of course, express your gratitude for them introducing you to somebody with whom you're sharing a really nice time. Number 9 is to be open-minded to all the possibilities, to this going well, to this person being who you think they are, to them being something that's going to really surprise you. And remember to not judge a book by its cover. Sometimes we see people, and like I said with the job, we have expectations again of what that means or who this person is. Oh, he dresses like this, or she wears shoes like that, or she carries that bag, or their hair looks like this. That's the style. They have tattoos. They have... Be open to exploring and getting to know this person for who they are. Be looking forward to being surprised. That's always a fantastic date when you're getting to know someone and they share and open up about themselves, and you can be like, wow, that is not who I thought this person was, from hearing about them, from our first conversation, from just meeting them in the first minute. And don't think that chemistry has to be there immediately. Chemistry can develop throughout the date. At the end of the date, you'll know if there's any possibility for romance, that you're going to accept a second date. And if there's not, for sure not. But if you're on the fence, you have to go out again to find out. And then finally, number 10, be willing and ready to laugh. Because dating is weird, right? You're with somebody you don't know, sharing personal information, asking questions about them. But if dating is weird, blind dating is absurd. So have a sense of humor about it. Feel free to joke about it and be ready to laugh, because have a good time no matter how it goes. This is an evening in your life. Make the most of it so you can look back and think that was fun, whether it turned into something or not. It was a positive experience and you had a really great time. I hope you found my 10 blind dating tips interesting or helpful. If you did, Mom was suggesting a thumbs up might be appropriate. And I would love for you to subscribe to the channel so we can hang out again sometime soon. I'll look forward to that. And until next time, have a good one.